Hello and welcome to our training today. Today we're diving into 20 or more, definitely more, credit lines that you can get for your business. We're going to talk about how to get approved for credit lines, even if you have credit issues, even if you're a startup business, even if you don't have collateral, you don't have cash flow, all the things that have typically prevented you from getting credit lines. We're going to talk about how you can still get them today. I'm going to give you options that will work for you. We're also going to decode a little bit about business credit building as well, because it's a great way to get additional revolving credit for your business. We're going to go a while. We got a lot of stuff to cover, so let's dive in. For those that don't know me, my name is Ty Crandall. I'm CEO here at Credit Suite. I'm also the author of two of the best-selling books on consumer and commercial credit, including Business Credit Decoded. I've been featured on places like Entrepreneur Inc. and Forbes. And if you're not familiar with our experience in this area, so far we've helped over 42,000 business owners obtain revolving credit through business credit lines. We ranked the best entrepreneurial company in America in 2018 by Entrepreneur Magazine, Inc. 5000, 2019 and 2020, A+ rated with the BBB. Hundreds of reviews online and hundreds of actual testimonials that you can find on our website as well. So I only tell you these things so you know that I'm credible to talk about what I'm going to talk about today. These aren't things in theory that may work. These are the same credit lines that we've helped thousands of clients obtain. This is the same process that we've helped them get business credit with as well. So this isn't theory. This is exact proven concept of what works. And you'll probably find us on places like radio shows, podcast interviews, TV, and many other different type of publications. So let's first address the elephant in the room. Look, a lot of people fail to get money to grow their business when they try. Okay, a lot of people try to get money from their bank and it's the wrong place for them to go. Okay, many people don't realize that there's funding options that exist where you can access them or even where to go to get them. You know, a lot of people are still trying to use conventional banks. They're trying to use conventional sources that won't approve them and not knowing where to go. A lot of people don't know all the options that are available outside of the big banks. Many people don't know about the newest credit lines, the stuff that's just rolling out now, even in a post-COVID environment. I shouldn't say post-COVID, but as things have reopened since post-COVID, what's available now. And many people don't know how to get credit lines when a lot of the biggest credit issuers have basically tightened up their guidelines. So hopefully everybody can hear me. If you can hear me today on the webinar on Zoom, go ahead and say that you can. I know Jerome is having a hard time tuning in, and Ladybug, hello, and thanks for tuning in for LinkedIn. I appreciate everybody coming in today. Okay, so bonuses, if you are staying to the end of this training, you're going to receive a playback of this. You're going to receive 30-day free business credit monitoring with Dun & Bradstreet Equifax Experience, about $249. I want to teach you how to get a no-cost business credit consultation with us. Thank you for the yeses. It lets me know my audio is okay. And we're going to do a fundability assessment. So we're going to find out all the things that are wrong for you on the fundability issue and on your fundability issues. We're going to help get those fixed so you can get more money at better terms. And we're also going to talk about funding qualifications that you can get right now. A lot of these credit lines you can get right now. A lot of these loans you can get right now. Okay. But that being said, a lot of it you're not able to get unless you know where to go and how to get approved. And those are the things that we're going to talk about today. And somebody says that they've got possibly, they can hear loud and clear, a little bit choppy. So some of you are having some issues today. I'm closing everything down except for what I've got running just with this live event and the webinar. But we got a lot of people, a lot of things going on. So hopefully everybody can hear okay. So this webinar is for you. Look, if you're looking to get money to start or grow a business, we're going to talk about a lot of ways to make that happen today. If you're looking for high limit revolving accounts that aren't linked to your personal social, but you can build for your business where your business can fund itself, we're going to cover that today. If you want the easiest and fastest ways to get money and get approved, we're going to dive into that. If you want to get credit lines, we're even going to talk about some loan options that can work for you as well today. And we're also going to talk about credit lines that you can get even if you haven't been able to before. So if you've been denied, if you think you're going to get denied, we're going to talk about options that will work. If you've ever been turned down for funding, if you have credit issues now, if you have a startup business, if you've been denied for bank loans, and if you're not even sure where to go to get money or what kind of money you may qualify for, that's all the stuff that we are going to go over by the end of this training. So let's start with the basics. Many of you know what business credit lines are, right? So a credit line is an agreement between a financial institution or private investor to establish a maximum amount that you can actually access. A lot of unique advantages. People like credit lines more than loans because of the flexibility. You know, you can use a credit line, you could pay it down to zero or pay it down and then reuse it. It's just something you can use and reuse. And a lot of people also like credit lines because you're only paying interest on what you actually use. If I go get a loan for 50 grand today, I immediately start making payments on that 50 grand, which means I got to put that 50 grand to use. I got to deploy that money really quick to get my return to pay those payments. Credit lines aren't that way. I can get you one of these credit lines today for 50 grand. You don't have to use it. You don't even pay any interest on it till you actually start using it. Then you only pay interest on what you use. So you're not in a hurry to deploy the money with a credit line because you can reuse it and use it. But here's the negative. They're tougher to qualify for. They're harder to find. Most people that really want credit lines go to their bank. Their banks those are much harder to qualify. We'll talk about the ones you can get from banks as well today. So, there's a lot of them that a lot of people don't even know about. Today, by the end of this training, I'm going to introduce you to my very favorite credit line. It's a credit line you can get without a personal guarantee. It helps build business credit. Your personal credit's not even a factor. It doesn't even matter to get up to $100,000. So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about today. These options that few entrepreneurs know about that can actually help you get the money that you need. And everybody's talking about the video quality. I'm doing the best that I can here. Let me see. Actually, I'm actually in here twice. Let me see if nope, I'm okay. I'm doing the best that I can. My computer I've got everything shut down except for what I'm working right now. So hopefully everybody can hear. I know some people are saying that you guys are having technical issues. Some of the audio is cutting in and out, but there's not much more that I'm able to close down here. I'm going to close down anything I can just to make sure that everybody is as solid as possible. And then that's the best I can do. I can only do what I can do. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that right now. And then hopefully the audio will be in and you guys will be okay. Okay, so that being said, that's an overview of kind of what credit lines are. Now let's talk about all the credit lines you can get right now. Okay, so number 20, inventory credit lines. So inventory lines of credit are a fantastic way to do two things. Buy inventory you need to put on shelves, or e-commerce if you're selling e-commerce, or borrow against inventory you have. I oftentimes see people on Shark Tank that are looking to raise money, but the reality is they have inventory. They just put all their money into inventory. And then the result of that is that they don't have the money that they actually need to be able to go buy the things that they need to buy. Okay, so you can use inventory as collateral to get credit lines. Your personal credit doesn't matter. You don't need any other kind of collateral besides the inventory. Your cash flow doesn't matter. You can get this as a startup business, and you can typically get a credit line for about 50% of the value of your actual inventory, about 8% interest rate or higher depending on risk. So this is a creative way to do two things. You can either use this to buy inventory to sell as an e-commerce business, or to stock the shelves to sell as a retail business, or even in manufacturing. Okay, a lot of people have these big shelves in manufacturing that they're buying inventory with. Or you could use to borrow against inventory you already have and get a really easy to qualify for credit line. So I love this if you're an e-commerce business. I love this if you are somebody that carries a lot of inventory. Now, Kickfurther is one of my other favorite sources out there, especially for e-commerce businesses. Guys, this is the way to go, because with this credit line through Kickfurther, and you can get approved at creditsuite.com/inventory. This is perfect for e-commerce businesses. What they ultimately do is they crowdfund the money that you actually need to be able to buy inventory to sell as an e-commerce business. Now, you need to have got at least $150,000 before in sales. So you're not going to do this to start an e-commerce or Amazon business or Shopify business. But if you have $150,000 in sales through e-commerce, you can qualify for inventory financing or through Kickfurther's crowdfunding inventory program. And what happens is within about an hour to 2 hours of getting set up, they'll typically get the money from their crowd to fund the purchase of your inventory. So let's say I'm selling widgets on Amazon. Well, Kickfurther can actually come in and finance all the purchase of those widgets. I can go buy all those widgets from wherever I'm buying them. They give me the money to buy the inventory. Then I actually sell the widgets on Amazon because it's holiday season. And then what happens is I'm able to come in, and then as I get money from my sales, pay back the crowdfunding that I used to get the inventory. So once you get an e-commerce business running, this is a phenomenal way to be able to get money, because all your inventory in the future can all be crowdfunded. The interest rates are really low on this. Okay, business owners with a 5% equity stake or by any of a person of color, woman, U.S. veteran can receive even a 50% credit on their first funding fee. So they even really cater to minorities as well. creditsuite.com/inventory. This is my favorite funding option for e-commerce businesses. So if you're getting into e-commerce, come back to this. If you're already in e-commerce, you need to go to creditsuite.com/inventory and use this product to be able to buy the inventory that you're actually selling online. Now, number 18, alternative SBA credit lines. So look, getting money from big banks is tough because you have to qualify for SBA. You have to qualify for the bank standards as well. So it's like a double qualification that you have. But There's alternative credit lines available through SBA that are phenomenal ways to go. Okay, so with these alternative credit lines, they're just easier to qualify for than big bank loans because they're provided by private lenders or private investors. So typically you need to have average credit, 650 type credit scores. You're going to want to have 1 year's tax returns. And if they show a profit, even better. These are way easier to get if you have tax returns that show a profit. So that's a big lesson to everybody. Okay, look, if you show me somebody that has tax returns with a $5,000 loss and somebody else that shows tax returns with a $5,000 gain, guys, I can show you so many more funding options for that person that has a $5,000 profit versus loss. Profit in the business funding world will get you term loans. It gets you low interest lines of credit. So showing profit on tax returns becomes very important if you want to get the better financing, the low rate, longer term financing. So this is available again through private investors, through private lenders, 650 type credit score to get approved, 1 year tax returns that show you have consistent income, preferably even 1 year's or some kind of profit. If you have that, there's a very good chance you're able to get approved. Terms can extend as far as 15, 20 years on this. 5 to 10 years is pretty common. Interest rates sometimes about 6 to 8%. So low interest rates, realistic credit line, you're able to get sometimes upwards of about $250,000. If any of this makes sense, if you want to learn more, then you're going to see information at the bottom of my slides where you can give us a call for a free consultation. You can schedule a free consultation with us as well, and we'll talk to you more about these programs and all the funding you qualify for. Guys, a lot of you, I literally will have over 1,000 people in here today. So a lot of you are going to have questions. I will get to them, but I'm going to get to your questions today at the end because I don't want to hold everybody up for questions that we'll probably answer throughout. So I see your questions coming in. I'm not ignoring you. I will get to you guys' questions before we wrap up today. I'll stay around and hang out and make sure that your questions are answered so we can get you the funding that you need. Okay, so again, really good way to go. Up to $250,000. We talked about low interest rates. Financials, what you need. Alternative SBA credit lines, pretty strong way to go if you have tax returns and have average credit. Now, Amazon corporate credit line. I love this because it helps you build business credit. It's reported through Synchrony Bank. Man, believe it or not, of all the business credit building we do, Amazon's one of the easiest credit cards to be able to get. I don't know why, but once you build a handful of vendor accounts, which I'll teach you later how to do during this training, I'll teach you how to take the first steps of business credit building that can get you this approval, then this is one of the first credit lines that a lot of our clients get. And if you look at our website, creditsuite.com, we've got something that shows results up there. I think credibility, you click the results, you can see a ton of real approvals from our clients and from our tribe that are people that are getting these credit lines or credit cards for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. So you're able to get this without a personal guarantee. You're able to get this without a personal credit check, 13% APR, no annual fee. You can use it to be able to do multiple different things, especially for the purpose of coming in and being able to get inventory to sell on Amazon. Now, that's the credit line. The credit card's pretty similar as well. This gives you 55-day payment terms on Amazon. So it's not revolving. It's a 55 net 55 account, but there's no annual fee. Gives you the ability to separate accounts under your organization because you've got a business credit account and then you've got your regular credit as well. And they'll even give you a dedicated account manager. So I'm going to introduce you to 3 different kinds of funding that are specific to Amazon today, but I need you to know that every source that you're selling online offers something similar. So for example, Shopify has specialized funding if you have a Shopify business that you can get financing through them as well. But Amazon has 3 great products that you can use. The Amazon corporate credit card you can use for any reasons, but the credit line, the corporate credit card, and this third one here, the actual Bank of America line that they have is a fantastic way to go. Now, by the way, this is actually the credit line I put through Synchrony Bank. This other one they just rolled out with is through Marcus brand, and their financing through Bank of America is really more of a loan than a credit line. But all 2 of these, the credit line through Amazon and the Bank of America through loan through credit line, are both available through Amazon Seller Central. So if you sell on Amazon, that's where you can get those. The corporate credit card, I will teach you later how to get that using your business credit. And through this Bank of America loan, it's fairly easy to get as well. It all comes down to what you're processing through Amazon. So we typically see approvals are based on how much you're selling through Amazon and how long you've been selling through Amazon for. That's what they're primarily looking at. It's not your credit. It's not your revenue. It's not collateral. They're looking at how much you're selling through Amazon and how long you've been selling through Amazon for. So as you build the track history of selling on Amazon, the credit line and loan become very familiar to you. And the credit line or the credit card, the corporate credit card, is something anybody can get, whether you're selling on Amazon or not. Okay, OnDeck, actually just recently got purchased, but they also have a really good credit line, even post-COVID, that I think you're going to enjoy. You can get approved for up to $100,000, a 12-month repayment term, so you'll have to pay back what you borrow within about 12 months. They can set up auto weekly payments, so your payments are set up automatically to be made where you don't have to consciously think about making the payments. Interest rates, APR, love that. 14 to 63%, right? So I like really wide interest rate and APR ranges because that means they work for high risk borrowers. That's what that means. Okay. And you might see 63% and go, oh my gosh, who would pay that? I'll give you an example. We have a guy that spent 65% interest on an equipment loan that I saw. Never seen interest paid so high before. The guy was a horrible risk. Like his credit was bad. But here's what's interesting. The guy bought a tree distumper for a golf course. Didn't even know those exist. Apparently they do. And the guy still saved $10,000 a month because the manual labor he was paying cost him 10 grand more than the payments on the actual financing he got. So don't pay a lot of attention to interest. If you don't like high interest, then lower your risk. The industry that you're in, how long you've been in business, your credit score on the business and personal side, improve those things and that'll lower your risk. But I like wide interest rate ranges because it tells you and I that they have good options for people that are low risk, but they also offer financing for people that are high risk. So they have a really good credit line to consider as well. They actually have a few of them that you should consider, but this one in particular is available up to 100 grand. Blue Vine is really one of my favorites, kind of. They used to be pre-COVID. They had a fantastic term loan that was the best in the industry that they stopped post-COVID. But you can get approved for right now for up to $150,000 credit line with them. Interest rates as low as 4.8%. Estimated APR up to 78%. That can be pretty high. Minimum credit score of about 620. And these are very fast approvals. It says approval in 5 minutes. And that's because they are what we call an AI lender. And I'm going to teach you more about AI as we talk about more options. But artificial intelligence is coming into the lending space. And here's how it's working. It's ultimately, you used to have to submit all your documents to the lender. Then a person gets it and manually reviews it all for an approval. Well, with AI, they're plugging directly into your QuickBooks, into your bank account. Their computers do the underwriting electronically. And the result of that is approvals within minutes and typically funding within 24 hours. So this is a great way to go. If you want up to $150,000 credit line, if you have consistent revenue and you're managing your bank account responsibly, more cash going in than going out, you don't have a bunch of non-sufficient funds, you're not overdrawing the account. If you're managing your bank account responsibly, or you have account receivables, people paying you on terms, and you can document that through your bank statement or QuickBooks, or bank account through QuickBooks, this is a great way to go. The electronic underwriting is fast. You need average credit to get approved. And again, based on how much money you're processing through your account or how much your AR is, your account receivables, will determine how high your approval is. And again, the interest rates will range based on your credit score, business credit score, consumer credit score, how long you've been open, your industry, and how you basically manage your accounts. But this is a little bit harder to qualify for than other ones I'm going to introduce to you, but still way easier to qualify for than conventional bank credit lines. It's offered directly from Blue Vine. Okay. You can have the money available, as I mentioned, in as little as 24 hours, not available in some states, including Vermont, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You are going to have to provide a personal guarantee, and they'll basically give you 12 months to pay back the money that you borrow. So if you put the money on a credit line, you have 12 months to actually pay that back. So a really good credit line to consider. This is one of our clients, as a matter of fact, with Herman, that actually came in and had a lot of results with these. And I'll offer some case studies here as well. With Credit Suite, your one-on-one consultant calls you within 24 hours of signing up. They call you at least 5 times in the first 2 weeks. And then after that, even though we have several years I've been with them, my one-on-one consultants still call me every Wednesday without fail. And that's absolutely incredible. My favorite line of credit I got using Credit Suite is a $10,000 Amazon card I use to purchase things low and high and sell high on marketplaces. I'm also able to get a $40,000 Amex business credit card. None of my accounts show up on my personal credit reports, so I max them out, doesn't hurt my personal score. So I was able to purchase 2 properties in Cleveland and Ohio, and it's been a blessing. I wanted to introduce to you Herman's case study because, again, this is a perfect example of what multiple revolving credit cards and lines can do. And you can see he, like a lot of you watching today, are actually into multiple businesses because of the availability of the revolving credit he's able to get. So I'm going to drop some of these along the way just to kind of plant the seed in your head of the type of things that you're able to do when you access this kind of revolving credit. So cash flow financing credit line, this is approved up to about $20,000. You need to have at least $10,000 a month in revenue. This requires better credit. They say 620 plus FICO score, but the higher your credit score, the better chance that you're actually able to get approved with this. And with this one, it's basically just based on your cash flow. So here's how this works. Cash flow financing is where they review your cash flow for your business and they give you a loan based on that cash flow. It's not really a loan. You're kind of selling your future revenue, but that's a whole different webinar, right? So with this, what happens is there's a lot of people that fell into second or third positions, meaning a bank like OnDeck that would issue the first of these, a cash flow financing loan. There was another bank that would say, hey, OnDeck gave you one, I'll give you a second one, I'll give you a third one. Well, some lenders didn't like that. A lot of lenders don't. So they decided they would be their own second position lender. So they would offer you the loan, then they come in and offer you the secondary credit line up to 20 grand. So you can get a loan and you can get a credit line. It's completely based on your cash flow. Again, you need to manage that bank account responsibly, have more money going in the account than actually going out. You also need to make sure you don't have a bunch of non-sufficient funds, that you have positive cash flow, or that you have positive ending bank balance at the end of each month. If you do that and you manage your bank account responsibly, that is the key to getting a lot of this different funding today, which is why you need to make sure that you do it and you have a business account set up. So if you've done that, this is a great credit line to consider because you're able to get a loan and an actual credit line for up to 20 grand. Again, if you get in touch with us, our funding team can talk to you more about this option. There's only special lenders that offer it, and they kind of come and go. Okay. Artificial intelligence credit lines. We talked about this as well. So some lenders will offer this, and this is available up to 150 grand. We talked about Blue Vine being one of them. A lot of them, some of them will even help you get approved without a credit check. It's again, all based on a bank statement review. Why I like artificial intelligence is it just makes the approval and funding process super fast. You don't have to, with artificial intelligence, supply all this documentation, have it reviewed. So it used to take days, you can get approved with as little 24 hours. You need to look into this. The lenders in this space are increasing. We'll talk about another one of my favorites here in a few minutes as we go through this list. But there's several of these new options that are out there. They're typically $100,000 to $150,000 max approvals that will get you approvals really quick outside of Blue Vine. So something to keep an eye out for as well. Now, typically you'll pay as little as 0.5% for every week outstanding. So let me give you an example. One of my friends is in the credit repair business. That's a high risk industry. And he comes in and says, I want one of those cash advances. And I said, well, what are you trying to do? And he said, I'm going to use this money. I just need to buy something and I'm going to pay it back. And I said, look, here's the deal. You don't want cash flow financing. It's expensive. Try these credit lines. Artificial intelligence credit line, the approval's fast. You can get the money you need. It's 0.5% interest for every week outstanding. You're going to buy something and pay it back really quick. So he ended up getting like a $6,000 approval, supplied his tax returns, got a $30,000 approval. And then he went and bought what he was going to buy and paid it back within 2 weeks. Well, if you figure that out interest-wise, he paid 1% interest to make that acquisition. So I love these credit lines because, again, the approval is really fast. The interest is really low if you're only keeping the money outstanding for a short period of time, but it can grow. You could pay a higher interest rate in APR if you leave the money outstanding for a longer period of time, but it just makes it perfect opportunity to be able to take advantage of opportunities that are out there and be able to use the money that you actually need to do so. Okay, so provide merchant statements for up to $30,000. And again, bank statements or tax returns typically can get you up there as well. You can get as much as 100% of what you process in merchant transactions in a month. This is through a source called Fundbox. Guys, Fundbox, we are the biggest affiliate. We do more funding with them than anybody else, okay? And it's because they are so phenomenal. Their credit lines are not based on personal credit. First of all, it's not based on personal credit. If you go through Blue Vine, you can get up to $150,000 credit line. If you go through Fundbox, you can get up to $100,000 credit line. They're going to want you to pay it back within 6 months. Blue Vine gives you 12 months to pay it back. But Fundbox way easier to qualify for than Blue Vine. In my opinion, Fundbox has the upper hand with this product, not Blue Vine. So I've given you two sources. And notice, guys, I'm not even telling you to come to us for the funding. I'm telling you a lot of the direct sources unless I can't. And then that way I'll give you information to come back through us as well. So creditsuite.com/Fundbox. I would get some other credit lines first. I'm going to teach you those. And there's a reason. They're going to put a hard inquiry on your credit for this program. I would rather you save your inquiries and get another kind of funding I'm going to introduce you to first, then do this. This is always the last step in our funding process. We get our clients all the money we can get, then we go to Fundbox and we get them one additional credit line, okay? So I wouldn't do this right away, even though it's one of the easier credit lines to qualify for because they care about how you manage your cash flow or that you have account receivables. They don't really care about, personal credit. As a matter of fact, they used to do these without even a credit check. Now they do a credit check, but the approval is not based on personal credit quality. So Fundbox, Blue Vine, fantastic sources with this. Fundbox, not as great terms because they give you 6 months to repay. Blue Vine gives you 12, but easier to qualify for than Blue Vine. So this is one of my favorites. My favorite, I'm going to show you a little bit later, where you can get up to 100 grand, not based on personal credit, no personal guarantee, and reports to Experian. But this is definitely in my top 3 favorites of all credit lines I've seen, probably number 2 on my list. PayPal and Square approval. So PayPal and Square are one of the easiest ways to get money. If you don't use PayPal, Square, and or Stripe to let your customers pay you now, you really, really, really want to consider doing so, because it's some of the easiest money you're ever going to get. When it comes to credit lines and loans, their approvals are so simple. Okay. Well, first of all, a lot of times they don't even do a consumer credit check. Secondly, a lot of times it's pretty affordable. If you're lower risk and you process some money through PayPal, Square, and Stripe, and you've been doing so for a while, I've even seen loans with only a $500 fee and no interest charge. Now, I've talked to other people that say they pay outrageous interest rates. So it depends on your risk. But primarily, they're looking for a consistent payment history with them. And the longer you've been with them, the better, which is why you want to get set up and start processing some of your customers' payments through PayPal, Square, and Stripe right now. Okay. That being said, what I like about this is cash flow financing, money that's lent to you because you just have consistent cash flow. We're not going to talk about a lot of that today because those are loans, not credit lines. But that will typically get you as much as 12% of your annual revenue. So let me give you a simple example. If I have $200,000 a year in annual revenue, and I go through a normal cash flow, a cash advance lender, cash flow financing lender, normal merchant cash advance, I can get 12% of that money, which is $24,000. That's what I can get if I'm processing $200,000 a year in revenue. But with these guys, they'll do 30% of whatever you're processing in a year. So in normal cash flow financing, I can get 24 grand if I do 200,000 in revenue. With this one, I can get 60,000. It's almost triple. I mean, it's about 2.5 times the amount you can get through normal cash flow financing. So that's a lot of money. Think about it. If I'm doing 200,000 in revenue, I can get a $60,000 loan or credit line. I love these through PayPal and Square and Stripe because they hit all the points for me. Easy to qualify. You don't need other kind of collateral. You can get it as a newer business. Your credit doesn't matter. Love it, love it, love it. The interest rates and fees can be really low. Love it. And the approval amounts are really high and they're really easy to get. Okay, all you need is to have consistent money going through these guys. The longer you've been with them, typically, the better the approvals will end up for you. 401ks, IRAs, okay, these are where you can use a 401k or IRA to get a loan or a credit line. You can get up to 90% of the value from stocks and bonds. Actually, I'm going to go over 4 different programs here. I don't think I'll mention them later. So there's 401k and IRA financing. You can use 401k or IRA to get up to 100% of the money, of the value of that 401k or IRA. You can get rates as low as 5%. You can get a loan. You can get a credit line as well. Okay. And then on top of that, you can also use stocks and bonds as collateral to get a different kind of credit line where you can borrow as much as 90% of the value of the stocks and bonds. So what I love about both of these, if you think about a 401k, you are investing your money into somebody else's company, into publicly owned companies, right? What 401k financing does is it allows you to take that money through tax-proven strategies, no penalties, and start investing it into your own business instead of investing into other people. So if you feel better about your own ability to grow a business and make a profit than some of these publicly owned companies you're investing in, this could be a great way to go. Matter of fact, 401k and IRA financing is the #1 kind of financing used by partners that go into business together to start a business. Now, again, I like stocks and bonds because I can still earn interest on them. Think about this. It just blows my mind if you think about it. First of all, 75% of business owners get money from family and friends, right? So 75% of money go to dad and say, hey, dad, I need $20,000 to be able to get my business off the ground. If dad says, yeah, I'll help you, my dad would go sell his stocks, get me the 20 grand to give me the 20 grand. Now, dad gave me my 20, but he liquidated his stocks and he's not earning interest. With this financing, with stock and bonds, he could keep his stocks there. I can go to dad and go, hey, dad, I need 20 grand to get my business off the ground. And I say, here's the great news. I don't need you to give me cash. What I want to do is use $20,000 worth of your stocks as collateral to get the money. You can still earn interest like you always have on the stocks. You don't need to liquidate them and sell them. and I get the money and just use that 20,000 stocks as leverage. It's way easier to get money from family and friends if you're using an asset like this and they don't have to liquidate it. It doesn't cost them any money out of pocket. The only way they would lose is if you default on it, right? And then they would take 20,000 in the stocks. But let's be honest, if my dad gives me 20,000 in cash and I default on that, he's out the 20 grand in cash anyways. So way easier way to tap into your 401k, IRA, stocks or bonds, or somebody else's around you. 75% of us get money from family and friends. Way easier to get money from family and friends using their asset as collateral than them actually giving you the cash. So multiple ideas here. 401k, IRA, stocks, bonds. See, I told you it was going to be more than 20. That's 4 in 1. And in what number 9 is 4. And on top of that, you also kind of get 8 options because you have 4 if you're using your own stocks, bonds, IRAs, and 401k, and 4 if you're tapping into somebody else's 401k, stocks, bonds, IRAs. Lines of credit from Wells Fargo. I like Wells Fargo. I think of all the lenders out there, I think Wells Fargo is probably the most business friendly that I found. They have a great credit card that I used to love to be able to start building business credit, not as popular today. And they also come in and they also have a great line of credit as well. $0 annual fee, $5,000 to $100,000 revolving line of credit. You can get it as a starter business. You don't have to be a brand new business to get it. You don't need any collateral. If you're a newer business, they may want collateral, and you get free rewards as well. And I take a snapshot of this, the exact link, but it's at wellsfargo.com/biz/business-credit//unsecured-business-line. Whew, I'm exhausted just saying that. That's why I said to take a screenshot. But if you're going to go to a bank to get a line of credit, and it's really not necessarily backed by SBA, this is one of the best I've found through Wells Fargo. Not as easy as to get as a lot of the ones I've talked about today, but still one of the better credit lines, especially if you want a higher loan amount. Business lines of credit from Idea Financial. So same-day approval and funding from this funding source. Pay for what you actually use. Replenish available credit after every payment. Get low payments with repayment terms of up to 18 months. Better than Fundbox. Better than Bluevine. Giving you more time to pay it back means you can keep the money outstanding longer. No origination fees, no prepayment penalties, and up to $250,000 line of credit. So you can get lower lines of credit. You can get lines of credit up to $250,000. You're going to have average credit to get approved. They prefer that you have consistent revenue. They might even want to see some tax returns to get higher approval amounts. But ideafinancial.com/line-of-credit. You need to check this out. This is one of my new faves. I love this thing. And again, a lot of you are going to ask questions today. Guys, I'm no exaggeration. I will have 1,000+ people on with us today. So I'm going to get to all of your questions when we're done, but I want to get through all the content because I got a lot of stuff to cover. That way the people that want to get the information are here, and then when people that have questions to answer, I'll still hang out and make sure that all of your questions are answered. A little bit typical, not atypical. Usually when I go live, I'm answering questions in real time. Okay, so business credit cards, a lot of these offer, right? Capital One, Chase, American Express, they have low rates. Similar to consumer credit card rates. Approvals are typically based on consumer credit, but Capital One Spark Card is one of the easiest ones to qualify for. And you got to be careful because Capital One reports to consumer and commercial credit bureaus. So you only want to try to get accounts that report to the business credit reporting agencies, not the consumer. But let's not forget these. Call them a credit line, call them credit card. There's really minor difference between the two, but these are really good ways to go. So if you have average credit or better, you want to check these out. Chase, Amex, Bank of America, they're going to want you to have good credit, 680, 700 credit scores. But Capital One, you can get approved for average credit, and we have a Capital One card for Credit Suite. We don't use it very much because they report to consumer credit, so it's our last resort card, and we rarely ever get to a last resort card. But we still have one, and it's still there. That it's still a possible way to be able to get approved for revolving credit. And again, these have personal guarantees, but if you have average 620 plus credit score, Capital One can help you. And if you have 680 type credit scores, Chase, Amex, these are great sources to go through those as well. This is my number 1 favorite credit line. I told you about my number 3. Fundbox is now moved to number 3. I love you, Fundbox. You're fantastic, but I'm sorry, you're number 3 now. And number 2, I'm going to show you. It's the last one I'm going to show you today. $100,000 credit line, no personal credit check. Number 1 is right here. This is my favorite program. And here's why. First of all, it's very rare that you can get this much money as a startup. You can get approved for up to $150,000 or 5 to 8 times the amount of your highest revolving credit limit account now. So if I have a Chase credit card with a limit of $10,000, I can usually get 5 to 8 times that with this program. So I could get $50,000 to $80,000 with this program. So I love this because these are basically accumulation or a combination of multiple different credit lines put together in one program. You get 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. A lot of them report to the business credit reporting agencies. Since you have multiple credit lines, you're putting multiple trade lines on your business credit report. So it really helps to build your business credit. Okay. And you're able to get based on only one factor, which is good personal credit. And it can be you or a guarantor. Half of the clients we help with this program don't have good credit. They rely on a guarantor, a family member, friend, etc., to actually use their credit to qualify. So even if you don't have good credit, it opens up another option for you tapping into a family member or friend's good credit. 680 FICO score or higher. Usually they want you to have utilization under 40%, less than 5 or 6 inquiries in the last 6 months. If you have too many inquiries or utilization is too high, you just might get less money. They even have bridge loans with this program where they can get you the money you need to pay down your credit cards to lower your utilization to get approved for more money. And they'll let you take the cash out. That's why it's called a credit line hybrid program. If you look at the difference between a credit card and a credit line, what's the difference? A lot of people don't know. Well, there's very minimal difference. What I find is the benefit of a credit card is you can get 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. You can't get that on credit lines. The benefit of a credit line is I could take the cash out of the credit line and not pay a 20, 30% cash advance fee like I can a credit card. This does both. You get 0%. You can take the cash out at 0%. That's insane. Like even it works for startup businesses. It's no doc. You don't need tax returns. You don't need bank statements to get approved. You don't need any kind of collateral to get approved. You just need credit of you or somebody else to be 680 or higher. And you can get up to $150,000. And again, no doc, 0% rates, and you can take the cash out. I've never seen startups be able to get as much money as I can get with it, as I've seen with that program. Now, here is one of our clients, Somnath, and I'm going to read to you his case study, and I want to explain to you why I'm showing this because it's a perfect pre and post COVID example of how to use this program. My business is Dragon Gym, a martial arts studio that was founded in 1973 by my instructor, Diego. Took over by my partner and I 10 years ago. His partner's Lonnie. About a year ago and a half ago, my business partner and I decided within 18 months we were going to open our second location. We got connected with Credit Suite. We were able to accelerate our timeline and open this location in 6 months instead of 18. Getting the financing meant that we could start fulfilling our dream and have 10 or more locations. So here's why I like these guys. They used credit line hybrid and they said, hey man, we're going to open another location in 18 months. And I said, why wait 18 months? And they said, because we need to save the money from the business to get it. I said, no, you don't. We've got a great program called Credit Line Hybrid. I think you can crush it with. We got them approved. And within 6 months, they opened the second location. Here's what's cool. Within the 18 months that they wanted to open the second location, they opened a third. So they were open to open 3 locations in the same time frame. They wanted to open 2 because they were able to use Credit Line Hybrid. Then guess what happened? COVID hit, right? And then, it's a high contact sports. They're a martial arts company, right? They do martial arts. So that, that's not essential. So they were shut down. So they used the Credit Line Hybrid to pull them through that time. And then they also opened up a whole online training segment to their business that now brings in a bunch of cash for these guys. So it's a perfect example of using Credit Line Hybrid to expand the business to 2 and then 3 locations, and then use it to pull them through an economic shift like what we saw with COVID. So a perfect example of how that Credit Line Hybrid program can help. So let's talk about conventional credit lines. I want to wrap up with some of these. Then I have some bonus ones that are some of my favorites. So conventional credit lines are basically offered through conventional banks. Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, these are called conventional banks. Okay, and SBA insures these loans. So they're hard to qualify because you have to qualify with SBA. You have to qualify with the lender as well. But these aren't as hard as a lot of people think they are to qualify. And I want to go through these with you before we get to some of my favorites, including my number 2 favorite of all time, because I think that this is something a lot of you can qualify for and don't think that you can. Okay, now most banks offer these, and they're offered through an umbrella program called CAPLines. So they're credit lines, but they're called CAPLines from SBA. There's 4 main kinds of CAPLines, and per SBA, CAPLines is the umbrella program under which SBA helps business owners meet short-term and cyclical working capital needs. You can get approved for up to $5 million with these credit lines. The first is called a seasonal line. And this is just what it sounds like. It's basically meant for seasonal businesses. So if you're a seasonal business like ski slopes, where are seasonal and your business is in the winter, down here in Florida, all of our beach sports are most popular in the summer. Well, then this was designed for you. It can help you through down times. A lot of you are in seasonal businesses. This credit line was specifically designed for you to be able to get approved and help you get the money you need to get through lower downturn in your business because it's a seasonal business. Contract lines. This is basically for subcontractors. It's really big in the construction industry. It's not for builders. There's another credit line for builders, but it's very popular with general contractors because a lot of times they're building things and then they have all these contractors doing the work. And then the problem is like they need to pay those contractors, but they don't get the money for finishing the house or whatever for some time. So these contract credit lines are specifically for that purpose. Then we also see a builder's line. These are for basically builders, construction companies, general contractors. And again, these are specifically designed for the direct labor and material costs of building projects. So if you're in the builder space, if you're in the general contracting space, you want to look into this builder's cap line. Okay. And then on top of that, we also have the working capital line of credit. This is just what it sounds like. This is just SBA's typical line of credit you can get for up to $5 million. Okay. It's actually fairly easy to get approved for $250,000 or less, even $325,000 and less, fairly easy to get approved with. So what do I mean by fairly easy? What's the qualifications? Well, you need to have good personal credit and business credit. So you need to establish business credit. I'm going to teach you later in this training how to do so. You need to have good personal credit. SBA doesn't define it. SBA just quote unquote says you need to remove any blemishes on your credit report. Okay, so that means like any negatives you should really get addressed before you try to apply for an SBA loan. You need to have at least $10,000 in your bank account on average for the last 90 days because that's what will control your bank credit score. I teach that in other trainings. Okay, and then you're going to have a resume. You're going to need a business plan. They're going to want to look at your P&L. They're going to want to look at your bank statements. They're going to want to look at some tax returns as well. So with this, you really need to have some kind of collateral to offset the debt. Most common kind of collateral used is account receivables. So if you let your customers pay you on terms, that's called AR or account receivables. That's the most common kind of collateral used for an SBA loan. So you need to have some kind of collateral. You need to have good credit. You need to have tax returns that show profits. If you have that, you can qualify for any of those 4 credit lines, figuring out which one may work better for you, whether you're a seasonal business or just need working capital, et cetera. So let's go to bonus number 1. I know I told you 20, but I can't help myself. I'm sorry. So this is one of my favorite kind of lending that's out there today. It's called peer-to-peer lending. Funding Circle is a great peer-to-peer lender. They offer credit lines from $6,000 to $250,000 with rates as low as 4.8%. And you basically are just paying interest on what you get. You can get approved within 24 hours. One of my favorites used to be, we will see if they come back or not. It was called Street Shares. But the problems with Street Shares, and guys, I will get to all of your questions. I'm just going to wrap this up because there's so many things to cover. The problem with Street Shares is they stopped lending during COVID. We'll see if they open back up. So Funding Circle lends money up to $500,000. And let me introduce you to what peer-to-peer lending is if you don't know it. So peer-to-peer lending is when private individuals invest into privately owned companies. I'm stressing private for a reason. The stock market is where private individuals like us invest into publicly traded companies. Well, peer-to-peer lending opened up as a way for you and I, privately owned businesses, to get money the same way that publicly owned businesses get money through the stock market. And it's used through these platforms that basically connect borrowers, you and I, with backers, people that actually have money and are going to lend money to the borrowers. So the platforms, Funding Circles, just like the piece in the middle that connects the backers and pulls together all their money and then lends their money out here to the borrowers. Some of the most popular in this space is Lending Club. Lending Club accounts for 42% of the overall peer-to-peer lending space. Prosper was the original peer-to-peer lender. Both Prosper and Lending Club offer personal and business loans, so consider that as well. Street Shares that I mentioned. And Upstart will lend you up to $35,000 as a startup business, but that's a loan, so I don't really mention that here. But you can get a credit line through Funding Circle up to $250,000, way easier to qualify for than what you're going to find with a lot of the other options, because it's private individuals. It's not lending institutions getting you the money. And also keep in mind with peer-to-peer lending that you can invest into privately owned businesses. If you want to earn 8% or so return on your money, you want to look into peer-to-peer lending, because peer-to-peer lending is a way that you can actually invest as little as $25 to a peer-to-peer lending platform. Some require way more money, but then you can get a rate of return on your money. So this is a way you can invest into privately owned businesses. It's also a great way to tap into other people's individual money where it's pulled together through these platforms and lent to you. So I love this because peer-to-peer lending is way easier to get than most funding available through banks. And bonus number 2, this is my number 2 favorite credit line outside of Credit Line Hybrid, brand new to hit the scenes. We tested this thing over the last 90 days and we've had massive success. So we're deciding to roll it out to everybody. And WEX is in partnership basically with OnDeck. If you spend $10,000 or more, you'll be assigned an account manager. I shouldn't even say WEX is in partnership with OnDeck because this isn't available through either one of them. It's available through another source. But basically this is how it works. you're able to get a line of credit for up to $100,000. Okay. And with this program, you're basically able to come in and you're able to get approved two different ways. And I think I've combined some of the stuff because some of the stuff that's here is not necessarily accurate. It's not through OnDeck or WEX. But let me tell you how it works. It works in two stages. First stage is based on credit. Trust me, you're not going to care when you hear about the second stage. You come in and they do a credit check and they approve you up to $10,000. In order to get 10 grand, you'd have to have like 800 FICO scores. Most of our clients have challenge credit. So they get approved for like $100, $200, $500, $1,000, whatever. It doesn't matter. You get the initial approval. Then you supply 3 months worth of merchant statements. And then you can get approved up to 100 grand, regardless of personal credit. Personal credit does not matter to get up to 100 grand. They will give you a real credit line that reports to Experian Business. So you're building your business credit with this credit line. There's no personal guarantee required. How much you get approved for is based on how much you process in merchant account transactions. You're able to get as much as 100% of what you borrow in or what you earn in a month in merchant card transactions. So let's say I do $100,000 a month in merchant card transactions, credit cards for my customers. I can get a $100,000 credit line. Let's say I only do $50,000 a month in credit card transactions for my clients. I can get a $50,000 credit line. Now, the second thing that determines how much you get is based on how much you're willing to pay back in a month. So if I go to them and I say, hey, look, I do $150,000 a month in transactions and I'm willing to pay back the max amount that you give me within 1 month, whatever I borrow, I'll pay it back within a month's time. Okay, whenever I borrow it. And they'll say, okay, boom, here you are approved for $100,000. So all they need to see is that you've got $100,000 worth of merchant account transactions. If you don't have 100 grand, you have 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand. That's how much you can get a credit line, right? So if you're only doing 5,000 a month in credit card transactions or 10,000, you can get a $10,000 credit line here, regardless of personal credit, without a personal guarantee. Reports to Experian Commercial builds business credit. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before that exists. It might move up to my number one position for favorite, but it's going to be hard to bump credit line at a hybrid at a position. But something that came out of the blue a few months ago, and again, has really taken that one of those top coveted spots. I'll answer any questions when we're done, but this is one of my new favorite credit lines. And here's some examples of people getting these kind of approvals. Here's one for example, 61.4 from one of our clients. Now, let's talk about business credit. That's my bonus 3. I want to wrap this up because I know a lot of you have questions on this as well. So when I talk about business credit, talk about business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your personal social, no personal guarantee, no personal credit check. This is a catch-all. I call it a catch-all because everybody gets it, right? It's like the net at the bottom of the rope the high walker walks because like, I don't even know, forget it. That was a horrible example. I don't even know where my brain was taking that at. But it catches everybody, right? Everybody can get this. Doesn't matter if you have collateral. Doesn't matter if you have cash flow. Doesn't matter if you're a startup business. Doesn't matter if you have good credit, bad credit. Everybody can get this. So with this, you basically can get 3 types of credit. You could start with vendor credit. And these are vendors that offer products and services that you and I need, and you can get credit to buy stuff in their stores. Crown Office Supplies and Uline are 2 perfect examples of this. Another one's Supply Works, okay? These are, you can get stuff like net 30 terms, buy the stuff in their stores. Cool, pretty good. Once I have 5 of those accounts, then I can get store credit. This is almost every major retailer. Remember I told you about the Amazon corporate credit card was like number 19 or 18 on the list? Well, this is done through this. Once you've got 5 vendors, you can go get that Amazon corporate credit card without a personal guarantee or credit check. Almost every kind of major retailer offers this. Sam's Club, Costco, Staples, Office Depot, Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon, Walmart, even, you can get computer leasing through HP, through Dell, through Apple as well. It's all available there. Okay, so almost every kind of major retailer, Nordstrom, Macy's offer this without a personal guarantee credit check. Then when you have 14 or 8 accounts reporting, 8, you can get fleet credit. BP, Chevron, Sunoco, Pilot Flying J, like fuel, repair, maintenance of vehicles. Perfect if you're a transportation company having a fleet of vehicles. Then with 14 accounts, you get to the final tier where you can get auto financing, GM, Ford, Ally without a personal guarantee or credit check. One of our clients literally got $145,000 approved at Ford with no guarantee and no credit check. That's absurd. Okay, but that shows you what's possible. You can also get cash credit. Visa cards, MasterCards, not real credit lines, but a Visa card, MasterCard you can use anywhere without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. And oftentimes the limits are $5,000, $10,000 to start. And we see them upwards of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 individual limits. Here you go. You can see a lot of people with actual approvals from $1,200 gas cards to, and by the way, guys, these are all recent. These are all post-COVID approvals. I'm not showing you. Actually, I had my team go through and get all post-COVID approvals so we can show you real stuff here. But $7,500 through Amazon, $3,500, another $3,500 through Amazon, $1,200 gas card, another card here for $10,000, $3,000 account, looks like another $1,000 through Exton. Here's somebody approved for $1,500 through Office Depot, another approval through Sunbelt, $10,000 approved through Sunbelt. Here's a Chase Inc. credit card, 0%. No personal guarantee on this one here. A bunch of different credit cards that somebody's able to get all without a personal guarantee. Premium accounts like a MasterCard there at Home Depot and a Shell. So I could go on and on. If you want to see, you can literally go to our website and see 100, 200 real results there. But I just wanted to give you an idea of what's available with corporate credit. So a lot of things here. Once you do this, it gives you double borrowing ability because you have business credit and consumer credit established. It gives you more ability to obtain more money. Limits are 10 to 100 times higher than what you're going to find with consumer credit. That's per SBA, not per me. So that means if you're used to having $1,000 credit limit credit cards, with this, you're going to get $10,000 to $100,000 credit limit cards. I mean, no exaggeration. We see clients in less than 6 months' time getting $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 limits. You can get approved as a startup. You can access these and basically use business credit to fund your business without a personal guarantee and credit check, which gives you a huge competitive advantage. And you can do it for multiple businesses. You could do it as a nonprofit. You could do it as long as you have a business in the U.S., even if you live outside of the U.S. And you don't have to buy bogus trade lines, shelf corporations. None of that crap that anybody will say. I'm going to do something I usually don't do. Let's take a drink of water here. You don't have to buy any of that bogus stuff, guys. You can do this. You don't need to pay Credit Suite. You don't need to pay anybody to do this. I've got plenty of free training that will teach you the step-by-step process. Of course, if you do it on your own, it takes longer than if you're working with us. But this is a great way that anybody can be or is able to get money. And it makes it easier to get loans. It makes it easier to get credit lines. It makes it easier to be able to get the terms you want, the amount you want. So even if you can get other financing, you want to do this if you want to get the maximum amount of money at the best terms. This is one of our clients, Kylon. I believe the Business Finance Suite is the best step-by-step, paint-by-paint number system. And that's the system we use to help you with fundability, build business credit, get financing, securing anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000 of business credit that reports on your business credit reports and helps you separate your personal and business credit. What I like most is you have access to actual coaches that will take you by the hand and walk you through the system and answer specific questions that you have related to your business. It's just an amazing opportunity. I show Kylon because I love Kylon. Kylon's a guy that was a gym teacher. He wanted to do better, bigger things. He got in, we helped him get a bunch of money from his business through the Business Finance Suite to build business credit financing. And then he went out and became a finance guru. He built massive teams of people and used his coaching education he was as a gym teacher to build a huge team and get really big in the business credit financing space. And last time I checked with Kylon, he had a seven-figure business. And again, a lot of more approvals here, 8 to 16. It got bumped to 16,000. Here's a JC Penney for 4,000. Another approval with FedEx. $5,000 additional credit with Amazon. Here's a $20,000 credit limit with Amazon. I told you they're very popular, guys. Okay, here's another one through Axon. I'm not sure who that is. A $10,000 Sam's MasterCard. Here's the difference, guys. Sam's Club offers a credit card and a MasterCard. The credit card you can use in their store, a MasterCard you can use anywhere. So here's a $10,000 credit line without a personal guarantee credit check. Again, here's somebody building their Experian credit, a Bank of America credit card. So again, just kind of gives you an idea of the type of money and the type of credit that's out there. Now, before we get ready to wrap up, a lot of people ask me this. What do you do? How can you help me along the way? So I want to kind of introduce you to what we do to help business owners get the most money at the best terms. So let's take a few minutes and I'm going to make sure that I answer all the questions that you have. So first of all, as an entrepreneur, you should be able to get the money you need when you need it. That's our core strategy and philosophy here at Credit Suite. But not knowing what it takes to get approved, not knowing how to build business credit, not knowing how to access any or all of this funding is really what holds you back. So we created software called the Business Finance Suite that works alongside of business coaches that basically is like your one-stop shop for money. It basically helps you with all aspects of improving your fundability, of building your business credit, and of getting financing. So you get business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your social without a personal guarantee and credit check. You get access to funding to start and grow a business. Even as a startup, we have a ton of funding options. We have English and Spanish. You can do it in either language. Okay. And our cutting edge technology really helps you meet the credibility requirements before you apply. Guys, listen, I can't tell you this enough. The vast majority of people that apply for financing and get denied are not denied because they don't qualify. It's not their revenue. It's not their credit. It's none of that. It's because they don't meet basic what we call fundability requirements that the lender and credit issuer has. Your Secretary of State records need to match your application. You need to have a certain kind of phone number, a certain kind of address, licensing. If you meet all this criteria, you start getting all these immediate approvals for really good terms. But if you don't meet the criteria, that's what gets most people denied. It's not because you don't qualify. So we walk you through all these fundability requirements to set up your business the right way. So we set up your business name correctly so you're not seen as a high-risk business. We help you set up the right entity that you'll get you the most amount of money and your EIN. We help you set up your business address credibly. We help you get listed in the right directories that lenders and credit issuers look at. We help you set up your website, your email address. We check your licensing for compliance. We help you setting up your merchant and bank account. There's all kinds of credit reports that are secretly happening behind the scenes that a lot of lenders and credit issuers have. We work with those sources to bring their information to the forefront, and we show you what lenders see that's causing you to get denied. Then we help you fix it. So then you move to those exact same loans and get approved. It's mind-blowing, mind-blowing. Okay, we have clients, Thelma Sample, I love them, and they came in and got a no-limit American Express card and a loan right after they came to us and were denied because we fixed some things in their fundability. They turned to those exact same sources and got approved. So it's interesting because here's somebody that got denied. They fixed some fundability stuff and got a no-limit Amex card and got a $40,000 loan when they were just denied just because they fixed fundability. It's not that you don't qualify. It's that your fundability is jacked up. So that's one of the first things that we fix. We also get you set up with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. We help you access your credit reports with check systems, with LexisNexis. We help you update those reports, fix any inaccuracies, get your DUNS number at no cost, get your business identification number or BIN number from Experian. We help you get, again, those reports from those rare lenders as well, or those rare reporting agencies, and fix all of those. We also have the largest supply of vendors. We talked about a few today: Crown, Office Supplies. We talked about Supply Works. We have the largest supply of them because we help them report. That's the key. We got so sick of finding people that actually report to the business credit reporting agencies. We went to marketing companies. We went to website companies. We went to SEO companies, companies you really use, and we got them to get the ability to report. We just helped the credit line hybrid funder actually get the ability to report to the business credit reporting agencies. So you're getting stuff that you would normally get through these sources, but again, they actually report to the business credit reporting agencies. That's why we have the largest supply. It's not that we find them, and we have a data team. That's all they do is find them, but we help create them because we help people get the ability to report. Okay, and we report when you buy with us. We report to Credit Safe, and we are almost finalized with Equifax to help you build an Equifax trade line as well. We have the largest selection of revolving store credit sources as well. And on top of that, we're going to have hard to find cash financing. And I will show you exactly what I'm talking about here as we go. But cash financing, Visa cards, MasterCards, fleet financing, auto vehicle, all without a personal guarantee, all without a personal credit check. All of that's available in our finance suite, all without a personal guarantee, as I mentioned, in credit check. Okay, plus we have all these funding options in there for you as well. So you're able to come in, you're able to get cash flow financing for your business. You're able to come in and get money based on just you having consistent cash flow. Even if you have credit issues, you're still able to get approved. You're able to get asset-based lending with interest rates as low as 2%, where personal credit doesn't even matter. You're able to get 0% credit line hybrid program, which we talked about there as well. Okay. And then on top of that, you're able to get private money, alternative lenders, angel investing, SBA, venture capital. We plug into all these sources. Like I said, it's a one-stop shop for you to be able to get money, terms of loans, lines of credit everywhere. You can take a brief look here at our business finance suite, just our business credit building, and you'll see how we do business. So what we do in business credit building, the reason that our clients take 3-year process and condense it to months is that we step-by-step exactly what you need to do to succeed. And then as you can see, we even tell you how many accounts you need to get approved for these sources. We give you the actual underwriting requirements for every single source. So we have a data team that goes to every revolving company out there, works with underwriters to take their underwriting criteria, and then we teach you exactly what it takes to get approved. We even gray it out when you can't get approved, and then it becomes orange or green, colorblind. Could be either or, and when you can get approved. So we tier it out. We tell you what you can get approved for. We tell you how many accounts you need, the underwriting guidelines. This way, it just makes the business credit building process super fast because you're only applying for credit you can actually get. And you get an idea here of how much credit's available. I mean, every kind of, from grocery stores like Meijer to Office Depot to fuel sources like Exxon to Home Depot to Lowe's to Apple, it's all in our actual system, and you're able to get all that without a personal guarantee and credit check beyond all the financing as well. And if you are interested in offering business credit financing, we have a partner program where you can offer it as a product and service and as well earn money offering business credit financing. So it gives you the ability to do that. And if you do that with us, we give you basically the equivalent of a business in a box. So you get contracts, agreements, sales scripts, website, press releases, articles, a year's worth of email content, a year's worth of social media content, videos, webinars. We give you you become like a franchise but without a $25,000 franchise fee, right? Like some franchises are millions, but it's literally, you have your own business credit financing franchise. It's ultimately the way it works. And we give you everything you need, training for you, training for your sales team, a whole back office to be able to manage your new business. And again, you can see right here in our back office, you can track commissions. You can actually see the valuation of your business at any time. We integrate with Biz Equity, so you can get real valuations, which cost you $2,000 if you're doing them on your own. They're all part of this. You can get it at any time. You can manage your clients. You can manage your sales rep. You get business credit monitoring through here. I'm going to talk to you about that later. You can build your business credit. You can access financing. And again, everything you need here, from sales training and everything you need to succeed offering business credit financing, you can get with us as well. Okay. And again, everything's in English. We have it in Spanish as well. So Spanish marketing materials, a client dashboard, so many other things to basically manage your actual business. So I wanted to give you some bonuses as well. If you are interested in working with us as a partner or directly with our business finance suite to get business credit financing, we've got about $7,000 worth of bonuses available through Friday. Okay, 30-minute coaching call with our business advisor. They'll spend 60 minutes if you need them. 90 days of credit monitoring with D&B Equifax Experian. They charge $249 basically a month. And it's $750, or it's free for us. So we're giving you $750 worth of credit monitoring at no cost. It's only $24 a month after that with us. That's another bonus. You're getting a 28-page full-blown business evaluation report to see how much your business is worth and what you can do to make it more. Widgets. We all have all these different review sites. We have a widget that's cool that you put on your website that pulls them all together. And I have a complete branding course. My buddy sells this for $2,000. It's phenomenal. It teaches you how to build your own personal brand. And I'm throwing that in as well. I got him to help me throw that in for free, and it's $2,000 value. I love this course through Mark. So $7,000 worth of bonuses as well. This is one of our clients, Josh. So you can kind of, I think this really rings true, I think, for a lot of us, especially if you have a family. So Josh says, one thing that's beautiful about Credit Suite is that you start with baby steps. The first thing you did was get a couple of revolving credit lines and store credit. Then we graduated to gas cards. Notice he got credit lines right from the beginning. Then we ended up getting a very nice line of credit at Amazon. Then we worked our way up to getting a very, very nice SBA loan. Thanks to Credit Suite, we're able to really get our business and finances in order for what looks good to potential lenders, potential creditors, and we became very attractive to lenders. The best options are always available to those who have their credit game locked down. And that's what Credit Suite platform allows you to do. We've been able to make smart investments in staffing, marketing systems, sales systems, product development, and all these things before Credit Suite we really couldn't do. I just don't have to stress as much because we've got money in the bank to take advantage of opportunities. I'm not as stressed anymore. I keep a bank account that has plenty of cushion in there. And that cushion, just honestly, it makes me a better dad. It makes me a better husband because I'm not stressing out as much. It's weird. Josh has become a friend of mine, and it almost brings tears to my eyes because as a father, I understand that the stress that you have of not having the money you need to run a business. And I've watched Josh take the money that we have from taking his business from startup to well surpassing $1 million in revenue. And he's on his way quickly to 8 figures just because he got the capital that he needs. And like I said, it kind of brings a tear to my eye because this is why we do what we do. We think that you should have the ability to get the money you need when you need it. And we also believe that if you have that ability, you're going to do some pretty insanely awesome things. So if you're interested in getting started, our top plan is about $7,000, but I've got some special discounts only as part of this. If you follow us, you know we don't do sales. We don't do discounts. We only do this if it's a webinar because you hung with me for an hour. And we've got 2 different options here, really 4. But if you're interested in just building business credit financing and not offering it as a service, then you can get payment. You can get started for only $497 a month. That used to be $597 a month, and one payment of $29.97, $24.97. You can also see option 2. We've marked these prices down too. I'll give you the website to go to. It's creditsuite.com/webinar, but it's actually, I think, 8 payments of $597 now and one payment where it's $500 cheaper. So you're basically getting a big discount, which we don't usually offer on all of our plans. And don't forget, you're also getting those bonuses. Look, we're going to condense 2-3 years of this process down to only 6 months. So if you get all the money you need way faster, what can you do with that money? What difference does it make to you? And it's cheaper to work with us than do it on your own because you're going to pay more for credit monitoring. You're going to pay to list your number with 411. A lot of the things that are free or discounted with us, you're going to pay premium for. So it's even cheaper if you really do the math to work with us than try it on your own. And we'll customize payments for you. If those payments don't work, we have other funding sources that will fund it for you. We have options to get financing to enroll. What I like to tell people is don't let money be a barrier. We've got a lot of programs that aren't even available on our website that are very affordable. So if you want to get started, want to work with us, then just give us a call, schedule a consult. When you do so, we will work out special payments just for you. And it's risk-free because we give you everything the minute you get started. You could pay over 8-9 months and you still get everything with us right away. And again, if you're interested in getting started, you can go to creditsuite.com/webinar, and that will get you access to everything. So again, the webinar, the bonus I wanted to talk to you about, there's 2 ways to get it. I talked to you about this in the beginning, the free credit monitoring for 30 days, the no cost consultation, the fundability assessment. You can give us a call at 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487, or schedule it at creditsuite.com/consult. When you do a consult with us, we get you free credit reports with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, $249 value at no cost. We help do a fundability assessment to see where your fundability is jacked up and help you fix that. We do a funding assessment to qualify you for all loans or credit lines you can get now. And we even give you tips and tactics to build your business credit. Guys, you can look at our reviews online. People rave about just our consults because so much value is delivered on those consults. And that's free just because you hung out to the end. So make sure you give us a call or schedule that consult. And as I promised you, I'm now going to hang out because I have a ton of questions to get through and make sure that I get all of your guys' questions answered. So let's do that right now. Brandy, okay, Brandy, thanks for coming in. Jerry, thanks for coming in. And Shay Roan says, what's the purpose of building business credit if you can't access the actual business credit cards on EIN only? You can't access business credit cards for EIN only if you do it the right way. And again, you'll see that there's a system to this process. So if you follow the right steps, then you absolutely can obtain all kinds of business credit without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. Okay. And by that, I mean, and I'll even give you some examples here. So the key is to know what you're doing, guys. A lot of people fail building business credit because they're learning from novices. We have, 60,000 engagements in our Facebook group. It's the biggest Facebook group on business credit. And people ask questions, and novices that don't know very much are answering those questions. So a lot of it's bad advice. But if you know what you're doing, you're able to come in and get all kinds of credit lines and credit cards, oftentimes even without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. Actually, let me get into non-reporting accounts. We've got accounts that require personal guarantee, non-reporting accounts. So it just kind of depends, but there's all kinds of credit and financing that's available without a personal guarantee and credit check. The key is that you have to know the right one. You have to know which PNC bank card to get versus which one not to get, as an example. So there's all kinds of money available without a personal guarantee and credit check. That's the purpose of why you build business credit. But business credit alone won't get you loans and credit lines. It's a big contributing factor, but you need other things to get loans or credit lines. Business credit will get you up to the Visa, MasterCard level. So hopefully that answers your questions. Okay, I'm staying to the end. Dante, thanks for staying out to the end. And Shay says, I'm not having a problem with audio. Okay, Austin, can I get a replay of this sent to my email? I can't do that from here, but if you email us info@creditsuite.com, our team will get you that. So yeah, and again, Bluevine versus Fundbox versus PayPal. If you're asking me, Credit Master, the 3 of them, Bluevine versus Fundbox versus PayPal, here's how I break it down. Fundbox is the easiest to get approved for $100,000. Fundbox and Bluevine are the fastest to get approved for. And well, it's hard to say. I can't compare them because they're just different. If you process a lot of money through PayPal, you want to go through PayPal first. It's the easiest to get. And then I would still get Fundbox or Bluevine. Bluevine will give you a higher approval, but requires better credit. So that's my best breakdown. Hopefully that helps. And a lot of you on LinkedIn said good stuff. I appreciate that. Need more info? Missed the beginning of this. If you're tuning in from Facebook, Tommy, you can go back to this when I'm done and watch this in its entirety. For higher credit limit approvals. Okay, I feel like a kid. I got a shout out from the dog. You're the man. It's awesome. Okay, and MJ from the webinar says, what if you have bankruptcy on personal credit and credit is refused because of a personal credit for bankruptcy? Well, first of all, guys, I'm not in consumer credit repair, but I will tell you this much that a lot of you might not know. Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion get their third-party data like bankruptcy information from LexisNexis. If you get your LexisNexis credit report, find discrepancies on the bankruptcy and fix it there, then go to fix it with your consumer report, you could typically get it fixed. Just a little insight to get that corrected. But there's a lot of funding we talked about today that even with a personal bankruptcy still works. You just want to stay away from credit line hybrid and stuff like that that's based on personal credit quality. And Christina says, okay, and you're actually given a phone number there. If you want to talk to us more, Christina, give us a ring, send us an email, go to creditsuite.com/webinar or go to creditsuite.com/consult and we'll talk to you more as well. What if you have no cash flow or less than 600 FICO scores? We talked about a lot of options that will work for you today. anything to do with the cash flow financing. Peer-to-peer lending may work for you there as well. Fundbox can work for you there as well. We talked about business credit cards. We talked about inventory financing. A lot of those options I talked about today that I told you credit doesn't matter can all work for you, just so you know. Steven says, I have already signed up and received credit lines for Strategic Solutions, Crown, Newline, and one more, but I haven't had any reporting from DMB or Experian. How long should it take? So this is a good question. So first of all, you might have those reporting to DMB, but DMB won't populate or create your credit report till you have 3 reporting to them. So you need to check. Our system tells you where each of them are reporting. And if you're having a problem with having a report, just talk to your advisors. You have advisors and coaches that will help you through that process. But your problem probably isn't that they're not reporting. It's that you don't yet have 3 with DMB to populate a credit report. To answer your question, most vendors report on a monthly basis. Some report quarterly, just so you know. B. Tyson says, if I want to buy a house in 7 months, is it smart to apply with you guys and get the process started? Well, first of all, if you want to buy a house, then what I would do if I were you is I would have an honest assessment of your credit. If you have personal credit issues, I'd get with a credit repair company, not a Lexington Law of the world, like a legitimate, really good one. Okay, there's a lot of them out there. Our team can give you a referral. We don't deal with consumer credit or consumer credit repair, but we can refer you to somebody. And then fix your consumer credit. Don't put any inquiries on your credit and lock everything down. Improve your personal credit. Don't put any inquiries, lock that personal credit down. And then from that point on, that should put you on the road to qualify for a house. But yeah, you definitely want to get started with building business credit before you need the money, because it is a process that takes a little bit of time to be able to do, just so you know. Okay. And okay. Just going through a lot of the comments here. It's good on mine. A lot of people are saying, yes, it's okay to the video. I'm good here. Okay. Would I be able to rewatch this? Yes, you can. If you attended to the end, you will get a playback of this webinar. And if you'd like to make sure you get a playback, if you email us info@creditsuite or email info@creditsuite.com or give us a call, we could talk to you. But if you're on the webinar on Zoom, then we will get it to you. We pull the list of everybody that attended and we'll be able to send you that as well. Okay. And I would be able to rewatch. Okay. Well, I watch this. Okay. Or any of these bad credit startup or new business. We talked about them all, guys. Okay. We went through at least 30 realistically, because some of those had 4 in them. And I told you all the ones that were available with credit issues and startups. There's too many to go through again. So hopefully, this was at 118 when I was walking through them all. But again, a lot of them, stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs, all those credit lines work with credit issues. PayPal, Square, Stripe, all those work for you with credit issues. Where that merchant account credit line that I showed is one of the last bonuses. Fundbox, most of these options that I showed you today work for you, even if you're a startup or have credit issues. And as I went through each one, I kind of pointed out which ones work in those cases. So hopefully that helps you. This was awesome information, but bittersweet when you have no collateral, no PG credit, and no merchant account. Yeah, you're right. And our Scherer brings up a great point. They say, look, I don't have collateral. I don't have a merchant account for actual cash flow. And it sounds like I don't have good credit. That's why you need to get business credit. Almost all kinds of money that you will get for a loan, loans or credit lines you get for a business, require one of those 3, cash flow, credit, or collateral. If you have none of the 3, then the way I described it is you don't have a lendable strength, then create one. That's what business credit is. You're still able to get $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 credit cards that'll get mostly everything you need for your business. And that will make you more lendable as well. It'll offset some of these strengths that you have. So those are some options. I think business credit's a good option for that scenario. Dude, all these resources, thank you so much for the info. I appreciate you tuning in. I missed number 20. Number 20 was the very first one that we talked about. I will see if I can pull that up real quick. Let me pull that up. Number 20, we talked about today. What was number 20? Number 20 was the inventory credit lines. These are lines of credit you're able to get to buy inventory or borrow against inventory that you already have. So if you have inventory or want to buy inventory, that's what we talked about with number 20. Hello, thanks for tuning in. Okay, I want help. Can you help me to build my business credit? I only have one issue on my personal credit. Yeah, we absolutely can help you. Give us a call at 877-600-2487. We'll get your business credit reports for free and go through that with you. And then you can also schedule time if you'd rather do that at creditsuite.com/consult. I've already signed up, received lines. We did talk about that. I did answer your question. I just didn't get to questions at the time. How can I get into an account of Credit Suite? If you are a client of ours now, then you have access to what's called our Business Finance Suite, and you can log in right here. You can go to suitelogin.com to log in. And if you have issues, then just reach out to your support team or just email us info@creditsuite.com and we'll help you there as well. Let me see if any other questions. How do I apply for Credit Line Hybrid? Give us a call, 877-600-2487. Credit Line Hybrid's unique program for us. There's other programs that are similar out there, but we'll help find the best funding source for you. We don't offer it. We're good funding sources, but we can help pre-qualify. You can usually get pre-qualified same day. Just give us a call at 877-600-2487. Email us info@creditsuite.com. You can also go to creditsuite.com/get funding, or schedule time at creditsuite.com/consult. So a lot of different ways that you're able to do that. And then let me come back and make sure that I answered all the questions. Okay. And Robert says, hey there. Thanks for tuning in, Robert. Juan from YouTube. Hello, I'm using the Genesis now, but should I have paid for the other program since I really don't know what I'm doing? Juan, Genesis is our off the website program that nobody knows about. I tell you guys, we have really ridiculously affordable pricing programs we don't advertise. That's what Juan's asking about. It's a secret program nobody knows about. So if you really are on a budget, just ask us about Genesis and our team will tell you more about it. One, if you don't know what you're doing and you have the money to pay a higher payment, you want to consider our main program because you're working with advisors. Our Genesis program doesn't have advisors, so it's a little bit tougher because you're working on your own. Our main program has coaches and advisors and a lot greater and faster success. So yeah, that could make sense. And we'll apply anything you've paid to Genesis towards your enrollment. So just give us a call. We'll talk to you more about that. And Makeem says, how much is the minimum you have to pay to get into Credit Suite? I'm not going to answer that. I told you our website prices, but we will do an assessment with you. We've got programs less than a couple $100 a month. But again, it depends on what you need. Juan is saying, I'm in that program, but I need more help. So we need to talk to you to figure out more about what you need, and we can help you come up with affordable program that we already have or work with our payments to lower them. But again, we can work with you on very, very, very affordable payments. So hopefully that answers your question. Aaron, Tampa in the house. Tampa, man, you coming in from YouTube. I appreciate that. I'm in Tampa too. We got to connect. I've been talking to Bob, and I'll be calling him today. Bob is fantastic. Bob and I worked together in the consumer credit business many years ago, and then he came in to work with me. Business in a box. That's exactly what our partner program really is. And Richard from LinkedIn says, hey, Ty, just got in. Can you start all the way over? I love that, Richard. Great job, man. All right, let's start this from the beginning. Look, Richard, if you missed this, it's on my LinkedIn profile. So if you go to LinkedIn, you can find it, guys. I'll show you how to actually do that. And you can excuse me. I, like many of you, are now working from home, and I've got a German Shepherd that's alerting me that somebody is coming into my house right now. But I'm not worried because I know who it is. So I'll show you how to actually access that on LinkedIn if I could get into LinkedIn. So Richard, if you want to access that on LinkedIn, you can see how I'm pulling so much bandwidth. You guys can see how hard of a time I'm having loading anything. But all you have to do is come up to my credit profile. And I'll show you how to do this. I'm going to answer any other questions while this thing populates, because this might take a minute or two to actually pull up. You can see that I'm having bandwidth issues. So I will pull that up for you. And then let me make sure that I get the rest of your questions answered while this is actually pulling up. Okay, so Richard, I will show you how to get that on LinkedIn. Regina, great webinar. Thank you again. Ashley, I'm sorry I got here late. Did you talk about the 2 accounts? We did. And Ashley, you can go to YouTube to be able to watch this playback in its entirety. Guy, I'm on my business credit profile. Look at this. Isn't this cool? Entrepreneurs who build their business credit are cooler than those who don't. True story. Be cool. Okay, so if you come down to my LinkedIn profile and you go down here to activity, and I think you can go to see all activity right here. Richard, I'm going to show you how to get to this playback on LinkedIn. So that's just taking me a long time here. And okay, let me see any others. Juan, hey, Ty, you're awesome, dude. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I would love to talk to you. Maria, give us a ring. We'll talk. My team says thanks from Facebook, and Jennifer says you rock. I appreciate that. So this is us right here. And if you ever go to my LinkedIn and click right there, all activity, and you go to posts, then you'll be able to see all of my posts. Okay, so you'll be able to see all my posts right here if you do that on my profile, and then you'll be able to access all my live streams right here as well, Richard. So hopefully that helps you. Okay, I don't have any other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Okay, I'm approved for WEX Fleet Secured. Is that a good start with them? WEX Fleet, if you have a personal guarantor required to put a $500 deposit down, you don't have enough accounts yet. So it's up to you. If you want to provide a personal guarantee and $500 down, then get WEX Fleet. You can get it as a startup, or you can get it as your first vendor account. But if you don't want to have the $500 deposit and you don't want to have a personal guarantee, and you have 8 accounts on your business credit reports, you can get those WEX Fleet cards without the guarantee and credit check. So hopefully that helps you as well. Answers your question. And all right, I don't have any other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you have any other questions, guys, all you have to do, oh, and wait, Donald has one question, and then I'll end up. Do we need a website and a merchant account for the banks to approve our credit cards? It's going to help you radically. Some sources won't approve you if you don't have a website. The merchant account isn't a no-go. Sometimes websites are. So websites can prevent you from getting approved. It's one of the things in fundability you really should address. And Jennifer says, so much information brain freeze, good. And I also have a Capital One Spark. Be careful. Capital One Spark reports to consumer and business. When we used ours, it hurt my personal credit, so we don't use it. It's our last emergency resort option. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Questions could keep calling in. If they do, give us a call, 877-600-2487, 877-600-2487, creditsuite.com/webinar. Don't forget, through Friday, you're getting a discount, $500, which we don't offer very much. And then on top of that, you're also getting bonuses worth $7,000. And it's not some inflated number. It's basic math. You're getting a $2,000 branding course that you can go buy for $2,000. You're getting credit monitoring that you can go directly to bureaus and spend $750 with. So it's all real value stuff that you would spend that equivalent of money with. $7,000 worth of bonuses, including 3 months worth of business credit monitoring that you're getting through this Friday, as well as a $500 discount. Look, I don't think there's anybody here that's not planning on having a killer year in 2021. We're all going to slay it in 2021, but we all know it takes money and capital to get our plans off the ground. Guys, this is a heck of an opportunity. You're getting a discount with us. We're helping you with fundability. We're building your business credit. We're helping you with get financing as well. You're getting a discount, $7,000 worth of cool Christmas bonuses as well. And it sets you up for success to tap into all this capital, improve your fundability, and get business credit to make sure your 2020 is your best year ever. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I know you guys still might continue to have some questions. If you do, give us a ring, 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487. And I appreciate everybody tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you on our next training where we teach you about more cool ways to get money to grow your business. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.